today we're making Sprunki and Scratch, and this is part 1, how to make it. So first we need to call this. So first we call this Sprunki, and that's our Sprunki and Scratch. And this is the part 1 video. So we have this video so that we can watch it, and I want to see it what it looks like. When you see that, you can also do that. Okay, so first delete the cat, yes. Okay, and now let's see.
Hello guys, welcome back to the video. Today we are making Sprunki in Scratch, and this is part 1 of how to make Sprunki. And when instead of just downloading, you can just making your own without just downloading. And today we gotta do some steps, step by step. If you don't know.
Okay. So we need to do step by step if you know. If you don't know, actually.
Okay. Now.
So this is the tutorial how to make it. So the tutorial, it needs to be it. That's why.
So before we just gonna start this video, you're better gonna like and subscribe.
Okay, so you're gonna subscribe my video, okay, guys?
Okay, let's get started. Now the first thing we gotta do, instead of just naming Scratch project, we call it Sprunki. And we don't need a Scratch cat.
Yeah, so I already deleted the Scratch cat.
Okay, next thing is to make the background. As you can see, the Sprunki gets a...
So we need to make the backdrops. The
background.
So we need to make the background.
Now let's get started. Okay. Now that was look like.
So we need to make that. Also, you don't need an outline. And we use this. And wait, I wanna see if the scratch. I wanna see the scratch guy. I wanna see the scratch one. Think. So we need to do this. I wanna see what it looks like. Well, we need to shift. Okay, open. Okay. So we need that. So we have that. So there's saving project. So let me see what the backdrops looks like. So we need those. So we need to make it. Okay. And let's do this and maybe 50. Maybe 52. And okay, maybe like this, because that looks better. Now let's make the grass. Let's make it 35. Okay, like this. So it's 35 by 35. And we need to make it a little darker. So we need to be 90. So that it can be darker. Copy and paste. We just do that. And copy and paste. We just do that. And we need to make this front. Now let's make the darker grass. So it needs to be 50. Okay, 50. And we need to make this. And this, and we need to make this front. And we need to do this, and we need to make this. We need to make this front. And then copy and paste. Now let's make it 70. We'll keep going. Can be 70 like that. And we need to make this front. Little bit front like that. And front. And we need to make this up. And up. And that's our backdrops. And we made our background. And let's call it backdrop cute. So that the backdrop cute can fit on there. And okay, so we did that backdrop.
Okay, but I'll just call it backdrop cute. Now we got the backdrop cute. And next, let's
start coding. We don't need that sound. Next, let's start
coding. So the first thing we start when flat click.
Okay. So we need to do the code. So the first thing, it's gotta be one flat click.
Switch backdrop to the backdrop cute.
Then we do switch backdrop to the backdrop cute.
And let's create a new variable. I'll call it phase, also known as every phase 1 or phase 2.
Now let's create a new block. A new variable. So I'll call it phase. Every phase 1 or phase 2. But there's no phase 3 or phase 4 or 5 or everything. There's only phase 1 or phase 2. Got it? And And now let's do
And we don't set it show. Okay, set phase to 1. We don't set 0 because this is what we do. Okay.
So we need to do phase, and we set it to 1 because why we need 1? Because there's a phase 1 here.
Okay, so we broadcast it instead of just a message 1. We broadcast start.
Now we need to broadcast it. Let's call it start.
Okay, next block is the reset characters. And I hope you're going to be happy about it. Okay.
So we need the reset characters block. Okay. Reset. Then space. Characters. Okay, where is it? Characters, reset, characters. So that our reset characters, but only that our reset characters, but only polos can show up. Got it?
Reset characters. Okay, and don't forget to run without screen refresh if you do.
So we don't need to run out with screen refresh because that's how we're doing. Because that's how we're doing in Sprunki. But if we do run without screen refresh, then all the Sprunkies will be scary, and then we will not make Sprunki on Sketch. So that's why we need to do that.
Reset characters that resets all of the characters, but only polos can show up.
Yeah, only polos can show up. Got it? So we need to put the block. And let's put this right here. Now let's go to the block.
And let's put a receiving when I receive start.
Okay. So let's do when I receive. Let's do when I receive start. We keep this right here.
And we broadcast the restart. And yes, start, restart.
So we broadcasted till restart. Okay, restart.
Yep, the funniest joke. Oh, okay, that's not funny.
Okay, it's the funniest joke.
Okay, still putting a reset characters.
Okay, so we still need to put a reset characters block because why we still need to put a reset characters block because or else the reset characters that reset all characters that we need to do the resets so that the resets can fit on there. We need to do that. Okay?
And now let's go to the reset characters block. So why do we need?
Okay, now let's go to the reset characters block. Let's go to the reset characters block.
A reset character. And why do we need these? Because the reset character needs to delete all of the characters, only polos can show up. But without them, we can't even see that it could still right there. Okay, so I'll just create two lists. Characters, it could be all sprites.
And let's create a list. So we call it characters. Okay. And polos. Okay. So we have those.
And polos. This is where the position sees. Now we put to delete all there at the reset character.
Now we put two deletes on there, and let's set it to polos. Okay.
This. Now set it polos.
Okay. Let's go to the block.
Okay. Repeat 20 of the characters.
Okay. So we need to repeat. So first repeat 20 of the characters, and then we repeat 7 of the polos. And you see, we need to
and
repeat
7 of the polos. Of course, we need to set all of this. Okay, now we put add 0. Okay, add 0 to the characters. Okay.
Okay. So we add 0 to the characters because there are a lot of 20 of characters.
Because there's so many 20 of characters.
Yeah, there's so many 20.
Add 7 to the polos because their polos had 7.
And let's set this to 0. And we need to set this to polos. Make sure all of the polos can do one flag click. High school. And we need the high school because why we need the high school? Because that's the opposite. Okay, let's go to the block again. Because why we need to go to the block? Because, or else, if we don't go to the block, or else the block will be louder and louder. And then we would not make Sprunki and stats, remember? So that's why how we do it. So we need to do that part while we finished.
So the next thing is
Okay. And let's go to the list.
okay. The next thing is we gotta use another flag click. Now.
Okay, so we choose another one flag clicked. Maybe right here. It can be right here.
Oh. You know what am I gonna do? Why am I doing another flag click? Because we need a new one.
Yeah, why we need Yeah, because why we need another black clip? Because we need to make a new block.
A new block. I'll call it set delay. And we put this delay.
Because why we need a set delay? Because when the set delay comes, then we need to do it. So we set this to delay and put a number or next. And we put this delay, and that's delay.
And run without screen refresh, so it could just run super smooth. Okay.
But we don't need to run without screen refresh. Because remember why we don't need to run without screen refresh? Because that's how it do me. But because or else we will not make Sprunki. So we put the block right there. And we also set it to 200. That's why we need to do that. So that where positions was.
Now we set the set delay. Now we set it to 200.
Okay.
And yes, we gotta get the new variable called delay.
So delay. So we need a variable called delay. Delay.
Now, we gotta do like a calculation thing, is this.
So we put the set delay.
Okay, let's put some divide 20 right there.
Okay, let's put some divided by 20 right there. And we put this right there.
Now, the answer was...
Now, we need the answer was a we do floor. Because why we need floor? Because that's how the position works.
Of course, the floor. And okay, let's see, times, oh yeah, there, multiplication. Okay, 20.
Okay, multiplication divided by 20. Let's put it right here.
And multiplication 16. And we must remove.
And we multiplication
And multiplication 16.
And this one is 60.
And we must remove that thing.
And we remove that thing.
And divided by 16. Oh wait, no, not right there. Okay.
And divided.
Okay. 60. Okay.
Divided by 60. And then we put this delay right there. Because why we need to do that? Because, see, look, it says infinitive. So that's why we need to do that.
And we put this delayed input right there. And we put it there. And done. Now we get the delay.
Okay. Wait, where did they put it? Let me
60.
check.
Okay. And we put this delayed input right there. And we put it there.
And we put it right there so that it fits. Now we're done. Now we need to get in delay.
And done. Now we get the delay. Now, but what's next? Of course,
Now we did delay on the code. But we didn't do on the costumes. And let's call this bars so that the bars can fit on there.
we gotta do something first. Well, the first thing to do is we gotta make a new sprite. So let's call the sprite bars.
Okay, bars.
Okay, but I gotta make 3 copies.
So we didn't do a delay on the costume, right? So we only did delay on the code because you see we have this delay right there on the backdrops, but we didn't do it on the costumes. So we need to do it. That's why.
But don't worry, you don't need to furious because we got plenty more that day. And don't be rage quit, okay? If you miss this everything, this will not work.
Okay. Now we need to do the bars. So put it right there. Okay, now let's go to the bars. So these are the bars. And this. And let's call this no color. Because why we need no color? Because that's where the position are. And we put this right here. We need to put this right here. Let's put this up a little bit up like that.
And everything could be laggy. Okay, the bars can fill all of that thing. Okay, maybe that's the bars. Okay, let's see. What's the bars here? Okay, you know what? Okay, let's call it, I'll call it no color.
Okay, so we set it to no color.
Duplicate. Okay, no. Now we take this and color red.
Now we need to duplicate it. And we take this and color red. And we need to color this color. Need to delete this. And here, delete and delete. And that's the color. That's color. Okay, let's go to the color.
And I'll call it, okay, color. And the last one to do is auto.
Now the last one is the auto. So we do the auto. And we color it black. Okay. So it's black. These are the bars, and let's call this auto. So it's auto, and that's the auto.
Okay. Okay, auto. Now we gotta do all the coding.
Now let's go to the code. Okay, now let's start coding. Ow.
Okay. Now next we gotta put something. Okay. When I receive start, instead of just broadcast only.
Okay, so we do when I receive start, and we broadcast it. Let's do layer 1. Layer 1. Where did it? Okay, layer 1. Layer 1. Okay, layer 1.
Restart, we just broadcast layer 1.
Okay,
Yes,
layer 1.
it only needs layer 1.
So it needs to be a layer 1.
Now next is the show. We need to set it show.
So we need to set it to show. Because why we need show? Because when it not shows, it needs to hide.
Okay.
Got it?
Now, let's start coding. When flat clicked.
So now let's do when flag clicked, hide a sprite.
Hide.
So we need to do the hide sprite. So it's hide. So we do the hide sprite. Okay.
Go to 0 and 0.
Now we need to do go x to x. Go x by x. So we go to 0 and 0. So we need to go 0 and 0.
And go to front layer.
And go to front layer. So we need to go to front layer.
And yes, we gotta put the forever loop.
Okay, so let's put the forever loop.
And we put it if else.
Now we put it to if else, so that the if else can fit on it.
Now, equals, okay. Now we put 1.
Equals, so that the monkey equals. So it's equals 1. Remember to subscribe my video, because if you don't subscribe my video, then we will not make Sprunki on scratch, and you will find my video. So you need to subscribe it. So you're gonna like and subscribe.
And let's make a new variable.
Okay?
But 3 of them.
Okay, let's make a variable.
Okay, let's see. Auto. Eesh, why is this laggy? Okay, I forgot this. Okay, sorry. I always be laggy on this game. Okay.
Now let's set it to auto. Let's set it to auto. And there's auto mode.
Auto mode. Or I just called it accent. Why am I misspelling?
How about this? Let's make a variable. Let's do
Accent color.
How about this? Let's do acrim. Then we do, let's do Joe. So we need the Joe. So the acrim Joe can fit on there.
And the last one is dark mode.
So the last one, it's gonna be dark. No. Okay, how does so dark, then we spell mode, so that the dark mode can fit on.
Okay. But you know what? We gotta end this video, okay?
So we need to put the auto mode, and let's put this right there. So we need to do that. Then we need to duplicate this. And we don't need these guys. And we don't need this. Let's take this away. And we set this, let's do equal 0. And duplicate. And we don't need a if else, I think. And let's do forever loop. Duplicate. Duplicated. And we don't need an auto mode on this one. We only need a dark mode. And we set this to auto mode. And we put this delay right there. And we put this dark mode and this and duplicate it again. And let's do the 16. So let's do the reset timer. Reset timer, reset timer. Everything should be reset time. And we need to stop the Skype. Okay. Now we're done. Okay, bye guys. I'll see you on part 2.